Huh? Yes. Yes. All the way there. Service. No. Up to this. Hi there. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Perfect. The camera is not working now, so I'm sorry you won't see my face. I don't know if that's good or not. But yes. All right. Perfect. So everybody's just settling in, and as soon as we start, I'll let you. Hi, Forrest.
Okay, I think we'll go ahead and get started.
Good morning.
Good morning.
So I'm Heidi Brennan with the DA's office, and we're going to start by doing introductions. Anybody who's part of the meeting and wants to move closer, that would be great. We got a little low voice today. It's a little bit hard to hear. So we'll start on this way and go around. You want to go ahead and start?
Sure. After Benji and North Sacramento CC Park. So they read us North Sacramento Park. After Scott Riley, CC North Sac Park. Turkish Sleeper, Mace Baby.
You can introduce yourself. Well, we're going around. We'll just back to you. I'm not singling you out.
Oh, I don't know.
Who's on your left?
This is my daughter, Eleanor.
Hi, Emma. Okay. You guys want to introduce?
Yeah, I'm Sean, someone of the owner.
You want to represent me? Present? Okay. Are you put in me too? Okay, well, back to you and then go back to Jennifer. Okay, and then Jennifer to introduce herself, so go ahead.
Hi, I'm Stacey Baskin, I'm the chair of the Rio Linda and Elverta Association, and I'm also the president of the board of some of the people.
Hi, I'm Christina Rasta. Those are my two brands over there. I'm representing the house, so volunteer on community nonprofit.
Okay. My name's Kathy. I'm with Blight Point Church and also the Rio Linda Elverta Chamber of Commerce. Caitlin Broussard, Network Security.
Fabiola Marquez, and I am the, I guess P1 and P4, 2 and 3, office manager. So I do all the online reports that you guys file. They come to me, so if you get a kickback, they're coming from me. I'm also the crime prevention specialist for right now for this division, and then I see the letter of agency program for all the businesses.
Okay, Lily Hernandez, Sacramento County Office of Economic Development.
Tim Hicks, Sheriff's Office, Crime Prevention.
Deputy Maya, North Homeless Outreach Team. Michael Dennis, Sac Sheriff, North Palm.
So we usually start with hearing from the community about the issues and problems that you guys are having.
John, can you hear me too?
Reports and updates from the different government agencies that are here.
Can you hear me, John?
So who wants to start talk about what's going on in your business or your area, what problems you're having? Sorry, Natalie, you're gonna introduce yourself.
Natalie Price with the Grotto. So last week, there was a guy, it was on Sunday, that was pressing into the closed businesses. And he called actually 911 instead of the non-emergency. My manager, Johnny, was taking out the trash and she saw the guy pressing in and she goes, I don't know, it really feels weird. Can you just look at the tape? And when I looked at the tape, he was actually at my door peeking in and shaking. When he turned, you see what's the outline of the gun tucked right in here. So this is somebody that to me was looking for an opportunity in those windows. We locked the door in 911, and somebody came out very quickly. I want to commend to that. I'll stand back up. The frustrating part came when I showed the video because the officer started with, did you call because a guy was being weird? And that made me feel a certain way, and I know that's petty, but it was like, no, I called because a suspicious person was looking into closed windows while carrying what appears to be a weapon. Like, that was why I called, not because somebody was being weird. So I felt minimized. Then, when I showed him the video, when I got to the point when the guy turned, he goes, oh, so he's obviously surprised by what was right there. I said, that's why I called. He said, well, we got the guy. I was like, got the guy. Exactly, that was his thing. I'm thinking, if he got the guy and he didn't know about that, he doesn't have that. He's started backing up. He goes, I'm gonna go. And I was like, okay. So I thought he was going to check out that situation. I never got follow-up. I never got told what happened to the guy. At the recommendation of Bob Langley, another business owner, he said, you want to call non-emergency back and find out what happened before you guys are. I was like, well, that's smart. They said, no gun, no crime, all was done. So what happened to the item there? Was there anything there? Like, he should have said, okay, we talked to him, he had a book back there was no gun. We had 3 women alone in a building. We didn't feel safe. We didn't know where that guy was. We didn't know where that item was. So some follow through with it better.
I'm gonna let Sheriff handle that.
Yeah.
Their agency.
One of the things we do hear a lot of when we respond to calls for service is the community does want like follow-up. Unfortunately, a lot of times we're going call to call and we're dealing with a situation and something else comes out where we have to take off and go to that. I still get where you're coming from. Even like later, maybe just a follow-up call, quick call, would be helpful. Hey, we searched him, it wasn't a gun, it was blah, had nothing on him, whatever the case may be. Just ease your mind, I get that. But the reality is, yes, a lot of times, especially from patrol deputies, they're just flying call to call to call, trying to stay on top of things. I want to say, I wish I had a better answer for that, but
If they wanted follow-up and were willing to reach out, what they call the non-emergency and say, this happened earlier. Somebody called me and updated me, so I understand what happened if they found a weapon.
well, you're fine. Well, it depends. We can't give out everything. We could at least let you know, yeah, we did not locate a gun. And then we request them for the deputy respond.
So you rate their
discretion, they can try to go.
or you can put like 956,
No gun, no crime, relief. Hey, I just talked to you, I saw your video, we didn't find what you thought you saw, we're leaving, he's out. Because then at least I know for me and my employees, we should be keeping an eye on the store still. We shouldn't be looking in the parking lot a little extra tonight. But we didn't know that.
Or our kids are in the area and he gets the gun somewhere, you.
Exactly.
Or they find that you go on a little hunt, make sure the area they're playing in is safe, right? I understand that. Okay, on what other issues, anybody else have? Okay.
We're giving more and more charge for people to
Access to changes.
really picking up now. And night shows going on. These are the most important things to me. People are just fighting like, I mean, some. Actually, they're not even stopping, but looking at people. I've found that they're just doing like this. I've experienced this several times. I don't know what's going to take. Coverage and like there's also a day for us, and it would take somebody to do yours. But it's very, very serious issue. Now, Rio Linda Boulevard, down Street, that drive is on the you're sitting over on Elkhorn, like high school, and that high school. It's yellow.
You can send out junk to this email, do we?
No, this is supervision. This is something.
You have to ask nowadays. Send out junk.
Yeah.
I see you're gonna do the red light. Yeah, here it is.
I just need to sign a paper to give you guys permission to do whatever you need to.
The nice, the blue lights, it's not taking a picture. Is that for a city meeting or nowhere? Yeah, I don't know, it's that much, Oh, yes, can we invite DOT to the next meeting to hear about, the red lights and the need to speed bumps or problems like, okay. I've only will invite public transportation, but one to the next meeting, we see in the future. See if they can look into it, maybe. The national.
It's a fire department. Right.
Fire trucks can't. They need to be able to blaze through if there's an emergency, so they won't put them on big main streets because fire trucks can't. Risk hitting speed bumps and slowing down. But I don't know, if we get Department of Transportation, or maybe they have some other thoughts on how to handle that, that doesn't impact us.
Right, good, that's great. So,
You guys have any other suggestions other than calling the Department of Transportation on those issues?
yeah, but if we keep it out, this is take out, stop it. We can look behind it. Because I think you see the, I think it's not, we feel better. But you definitely get out there and start. That's the biggest thing. We don't know this, but that's so good. I don't want to get stuck. It's not something you want to stop. Stop something to that stage. Go out and say, well, mine, if that's, you know, marketing, stop,
You can't.
all the time, that's limiting. We bought.
Does it happen more?
We bought a few 4, 5, 6. Public. And I think that we want, you have to say, otherwise. So, that's what we're supposed to do. And that, and, the smell is what we do, and I get up, I got it off it, but that's fair, the problem, that makes it a little bit, that's off.
Everybody there? Okay, so you're saying if it's a street pro or side racing, street racing, or side pro or street racing, so that's, they can do a lot more with that, so make sure you're calling those in, like, as they're happening, or immediately, so they can try to get somebody out, because that's an immediate danger risk, I think,
Especially videos, we have
a second video.
show, and this is a video, especially when
Are those types, are they going like on weekends, or? Anybody else have any more concerns?
Not a problem, keep training. Starbucks, definitely, you start to work down, I have one that you start to do it, about the show, after the show, we're across the county, and then more, you got to wait for people to over Trespass, and, you know, why, Rio Linda, and help you market getting
lot of guys there, I felt that every place we make a call, that person goes to jail, and he's gonna come there, it's like Sacramento, it's maybe because it's bigger, I don't know.
So I was seeing that more hot,
Okay.
like what the other time is, you can see people, especially if it's every day, it's always out there, out there.
Yeah.
Take a photo, email the North Hot team. North Hot is like the next day kind of thing. But it's active right now when it was there, on non-emergency. And then that's the day it's out there.
The lights are on there, so that's, okay.
They use the fence, so the fence is directly all around the building. But they're also going more height. And they're showing their like,
Can you guys hear me so I know it's really hard to hear.
I know.
So,
Everybody else.
let's yell.
Thank you very much.
You don't know, you do and I yell.
Yeah, no, they're storing different, like backpacks, hoodies or whatever they have. They're just in the fence and storing them behind the edge of the building. The lights went on as of last night, and they're using the bathroom by the dumpster. Well, they're not bathrooms, but for their bathrooms, they're using the flower bed by the dumpster and drinking it. So.
And did you say the lights were not on as of last night? I could reach back out to the owner and say, okay, they were going to fix that.
It's the right that's right on, right on, yeah.
Yeah, oh, it happened Saturday. I mean, I had to break it over there for top work. We happened to like, like 10:30 or 10:30 to 11 o'clock at night. They just, cut the bars off the window, bust the window, and then drug out a couple pieces out there. I mean, that's.
Okay, I'm going to have, this is a good time to have introduce Jim Hicks. He's going to talk to you about SEPFED, which is crime prevention through environmental design. The sheriff's office, he works for the sheriff's office, they will give you a free property evaluation and can give you tips on things you can do to prevent thefts, to kind of make it unwelcoming for transients or people who want to commit kind of criminal activity. Don't get me wrong, I'm not trying to say that it's trying to be homeless, but we know there's a criminal element with a lot of the people that are transients, and that's what we're trying to deal with.
Well, and the owner of this complex just left after I yelled at him. That was the owner of this complex. I was hoping he would stay, but.
Well, that's why you'll fight Steve,
Yeah, because he's the owner of the complex. Yeah.
I didn't know I would introduce myself and ask him.
Yeah.
Okay, Jim, do you want to tell them about what you do and explain a little bit more detail than what I did?
Yeah, so like Heidi said, it's a free service that we provide. I can come out to your property, and the easy way that I describe it is most business owners and property owners tend to look at their property in a positive light, and I come in with a little bit more of a cynical viewpoint. I try to find out how criminals see your space, where they see opportunity, things like that. And then sometimes there's very simple, easy solutions to problems, lighting, landscaping. Sometimes it takes more reoccurring work. Every site is different, so there's some general rules that I'll use at every site, but usually it comes down to what problems you're having, where you're having them, and then what we can do to kind of go through the basics, sometimes think outside of the box. So I'm open. We have a flyer here, I have a cards available. So you can give me a call, come out, look at your property. Again, it's easy to do. Takes anywhere from 15 to 20 minutes if it's a quick walk, as much as to an hour if we get really chatty about it. So it's entirely up to you. And it's just a good way of looking at your property and seeing things in a different light. And the ultimate goal is to make your property less desirable to would-be criminals. And there's all kinds of little things that can be done. And also the other part of it is just knowing how to report, knowing how to say things when you're asking for service, and how to follow up, the best way to follow up, get more information, and just have better communication. I can help kind of bridge that gap sometimes. When to call code enforcement, when to call sheriff's office, things like that. So I'm available to help whenever I can.
I have a question, and it's probably not on topic, but like Steve just left, so I'm going to call him now when I leave here and ask him why I left. But, you know, all of us are small business owners, right? I said that's with my kids over there, and I'm a self too. But a lot of us I mean, everybody's struggling to survive right now. With all the, and maybe you can't answer this, but with all the government funding and all the grants, all the stuff that's available to everybody, why is there not, and maybe there is, why is there not some type of grant or funding or low price or whatever for complexes like this that, you know, let's say it's $1,000 a night to have security, right? And there's only, you know, there's, I don't know, 15 businesses in here, and they just can't afford the 150, you know, a month or whatever it is, right? Is there no funding or anything for these types of places to have like discounted security, or, you know, something for the owner that he could pay for that would be obviously a tax write-off, or some kind of discounted, you know what I mean?
I know what you mean.
Something, yeah.
Well,
Why
you're
are
thinking about grants. I'm not as a DA trained in
Right.
anything to do with grants, but I do know there are government agencies that have that information, and that all businesses do have access to different grants, but I don't know about it. Do you know?
For the grant that you're specifically talking about, there isn't a grant, and a lot of the grants are very specific to, let's say, an organization or depending on the jurisdiction. But what I'm thinking, what comes to mind, what you're saying, a good idea potentially could be a PIVT, a property improvement district. So and this would take the property owners to tax themselves. They kind of create this kind of like a HOA of businesses in a sense. And all that fund goes into, they can go into security. Now, the property owner would have to say, yeah, go ahead and tax me extra. But at the same time, they could end up having funds to have security, to have marketing for the area. But it would actually have to be like, you'd have to outreach in the whole, it's a whole process. I can have somebody come next meeting if you guys are interested in hearing that idea.
Yeah, we need to make sure you have some big businesses in
Yeah.
there, because they apportion the fee. So if your business might be very small, it may be a certain monthly fee, and you can just slush fund it, the right security. Right, but somebody like Walmart would get a bigger portion. Yes, you need some big businesses to.
And we don't have big businesses in the complex, sorry.
What about the area? It doesn't have to be a complex, it can be a geographic. Like,
Oh,
I'm sure well enough to know it's all.
The only one that's the big business is the Food Max, I mean, and the store that just closed, you know? Otherwise, we're all small,
There's might be a way, I don't know, where you get together and all this, I
yeah. So, I mean, it's a start, I'm just thinking, you know, we have all this funding, you know, so.
Yeah, and I mean, that's something if you go to, she's gonna talk.
I can have somebody come and talk. I know there's a lot of requirements for it as well. Like usually, like they have to be contiguous, right? Because typically it's for the businesses only. That's for residential. But I can have maybe one of the board of supervisors and Lindsay come in and talk about that to see if that is something that you guys might be looking into. It would have, it's a whole different process, but you can have her come next time. If that's what you guys want, I can have somebody.
I don't know, she's saying there's no big businesses, I don't know that it would be effective, but we have Ron's smart.
I mean, we're just a small town, the biggest thing we have is the Food Max store. Yeah, and they get robbed all the time.
Another conversation to have.
Yeah.
Right, like the conversation.
Yeah, what's it called, a PIVT?
Yes.
We make like that, you got it, okay, all right, thank you.
Coming back to this shopping center, how many of you own businesses in this shopping center? You have the grotto.
Well, yeah, I mean, well, yeah, they don't own it, they just,
I don't know,
obviously, but.
Ron would have to rent because and I just like, and I know that you were Natalie, but was anybody else the victim of the guy who broke into like 6 places in one night and was caught?
The Rio. Oh, yeah, because you said your Subway, yeah?
Yeah.
So he is in the big complex for one store.
The one I'm talking about was probably with okay, so you're prosecuting that instead of preliminary hearing. If you are one of these businesses or know one of the management owners of the business, if you could make sure that everybody uploaded their videos to that night, because I know that they were all paid, but you didn't have all the videos, and that you all made statements to the department, if not, needs to be connected with the because we're trying to gather all this information to make sure it's like the area. Like the liaison, get help reach me. somebody. But I don't know where he's at. That's the point that I wanted to know if I got a chance. Okay, so other problems that they've talked about. Anybody else? You guys want to be here, Kyle?
I know, might be six, nine, might be six.
I think that guy's still testing.
Oh, yeah, you know, well, mine was not, but
I'm going to say, if I can't even write it, I'm not sure.
you have to be with from law. They get the real job of my friend. Broke his ribs, or, and it was on the
Last game or not?
give me the back door. This was a bit of flaw. About it, like,
Okay, present. You should also set a meeting with Jim Hicks. If you could recommend. Sometimes there's some minor things that's a little bigger, but even cameras have gotten pretty cheap. I'll tell you, we wouldn't have been able to get all six of those, but the cameras, catching that face motion and all of it. It was pretty amazing. I watched your video and this is a great case. I actually kind of wanted to keep it. I love all that. It's good evidence in there. So, so setting up cameras, motion lights, whatever, but Jim's better at that. So arrange it's a free event eval. We help give you ideas on how to protect your businesses. How many of you have letters of agency? How many of you don't know what a letter of agency is? Okay. Sheriff, do you guys want to talk about letter of agency?
Sure. So letter of agency is a program the sheriff's office runs. It's the property owner of a business or a vacant field. Right now, it's not for private residences, but they give us permission to enforce trespassing laws on their property when they're not there. So if you have a business where people are coming at night and you're not going to be responding, they would say trespassing to your property, we can come out and based on this paperwork that's filled out, trespass that person on your behalf. And if they're there in the future, we can cite them, arrest them, whatever we need to do. It's really big in open fields, vacant lots, where you're having issues with homeless people camping. It allows us to go out there and deal with them when you're not there.
What is the name of the business that I asked to turn lights on since I'm drawing it?
Friday.
Is that Friday? It was Friday. Do they have that? Do you know that building? So, okay, so I can push that on or turn lights on and get a letter of agency. And then even though you guys aren't the property managers or whatever, if there's a letter of agency, I don't think it would hurt necessarily for you to call and say there's a bunch of homeless people and I know there's a letter of agency. If anybody on patrol could swing by and trespass people, that would be great because they end up filtering into the local business.
The owner for this lot, he was just doing that.
Yeah,
So this whole business area house, complex house.
So the individual businesses don't have to have one if Steve has one, right? Correct?
The property has it, the whole property has it. You have to do it.
They do have to be renewed every year, so even if you didn't do one, you might want to help stay on top of reminding the owner of this, like next year, put it in your calendar, hey, did you renew the letter of agency? Because that's to be done every year. It's to be done with the notary, but Sheriff's Department will provide a free notary. You can spend 200 hours or special notary. Yeah, so it's a great thing to have for your business so that you don't have to get up at 2 a.m. and come down if somebody's there trying to break in, but they haven't done enough yet to be arrested on it. They just need to be trespassed from the property, or they're just loitering or illegally camping or whatever they're doing. And Sheriff Patrol who is driving by, if they know that business has a letter of agency, they don't even have to have a complaint. They could just go and trespass people off their property without you. And you may never even know they're doing it, right? Because they don't have time to follow up with things like that. Call every person out there and let them know they're just going to go and issue it. Trespass notice, but then if you ever call on a different day, they can look and go, oh no, we've already given notice, we can actually cite you now for that order. Any questions about the letter of agency?
No, I was just gonna give, Todd, John, can you hear? It's a little bit hard to hear.
I can hardly hear.
If you wanted to speak on something, do you wanna share anything, John?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. No, somebody had asked who has a business at the complex, and I was just saying that my physical address, even though I'm an online business, my physical address is at the key shop that was broken into this past week.
What shop?
The key shop.
That's all. I mean, somebody had asked a question, I was responding.
Right, and did you want anything else to share?
So you know that that would be included in the LOA as part of the shopping center?
Just so you know, John, the property owner came in and filled out the letter of agency today, so the whole complex will be covered under the letter of agency.
Okay. The only other thing I would have to add is that It's very hard to hear what's going on at the meeting. People close to the microphone I can hear well. People further away I can't. It would be worth investing in some better equipment if we're going to live cast these and expect people to participate in them in the future.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
I think you'll have to walk around your laptop.
I think so, too.
Whoever's speaking, in
I
order
was
for them
thinking
to
that.
hear, especially the not she just run.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Is there anything else that the committee wants to talk about?
I think it was with the sheriff's department. I was at the Rio Business Watch. It was regarding the trailers with the cameras on them. And we spoke about maybe one in this parking lot, one in the Food Max parking lot, and different areas and issues. Do you know if there's been any result of that conversation or update?
I don't know if we got that meeting. We do have trailers. I think we have 3 or 4. The problem is, it's for the whole county.
Right.
So we're trying to put them in the areas that get the most. I know Truly Shop takes it. About a year ago, there was one of them, like, lots of those just,
That'd be amazing. I first heard that they actually had kicked that two-chair set of cameras. I thought it was the city, but then they started.
4 break-ins in that complex in 4 months should gather somebody's attention and maybe influence the decision to place a camera trailer.
So we just have to request it, and it's basically a waiting list to be available. Yeah,
If there's a later flexible, with that. Well, you have like 4 per county?
Sergeant Igo, I'm pretty sure was the one who mentioned it at the meeting. Right. So, yeah, and I talked to him, I think yesterday about something similar, but we also talked about the cameras. And the way it kind of works is the cameras are assigned to our detectives or our property detectives. They're the ones who the cameras are assigned to, so they use them in that regard. When they're not currently assigned, and this isn't a formal thing we're doing yet, but certainly the goal is to get where we have a list of properties where when there's an available camera, instead of just parking it in our parking lot, when the detectives aren't using it, we could have properties to take it to, and kind of we don't have that kind of full up and running yet. So it's when we've done it, it's been very, hey, we have a thing. Call, are they available? Yep, let's do it. The best way, if you really want to see someone, would be probably to follow up with Sergeant Igo. He's had the most contact with it. It's something that we certainly hope in time will become more of a division kind of interactive. We can have an ongoing list, but there are only so many cameras, and it's tough to really, I think there's only 4. I think that's what we have. So it's something we're looking into, and that's what Sergeant Igo was referring to. So certainly following up with him is probably the best bet as far as getting follow up.
So the Sheriff's Department has a shortage of officers and cameras, which means we're out of luck.
So those are all break-ins or attempted burglaries and stuff. So if Sergeant Igo were here, I can always guarantee reports out of his mouth, we call or they call often, because he says that all the time. And part of the reason you want to call on everything that, like whether it's a little camp or anything, because the number of calls generated does direct more attention towards that area. So the areas that are going to get the most attention are going to be the highest call areas. So not just the break-ins and burglaries, but when there are any other problems, even if you feel like, oh, it's a hassle to call it in. They won't know you're having big problems if they don't get a call on every problem you're having. So keep reporting it, even if you don't expect anything to happen, because it's not that significant compared to what else they might have it going on. They can't respond to everything. The resources just aren't there. We have tons of taxpayers' money going into different programs, and resources in different areas get redirected all the time based on new laws and based on the voters, what they vote for. So, that's why it's really important to always look and really vote for anything that is crime prevention or law enforcement related. The more resources we have, the less we have these problems.
Well, that's the biggest issue is for such a small town that, a lot of times it doesn't get reported because they're like, oh, they're not in the community anyways. But then you guys, and it's very good advocate for this, because it should be everywhere, right? From different organizations. But you guys bring this people out, and we only have this many people as business owners. You guys are doing your part, but I think us as a do our part as well. So as a community, we probably need to try to talk more and make the business people be aware of it. If you don't report it, like you said, you don't know this company, you guys don't know where you need to be if it's not reported.
Yeah, so we always get invited to try to get more people to come see. I know that's a struggle, I get it.
Yeah.
But even if you can't get people to come share, social media is a great way to share information.
Yeah, and that's why John Todd's so good on Rona Online, because he tries to report everything. Every time somebody messages and something happens, we automatically go to, we automatically go to John Todd, yeah, because he shares it.
Enjoy together. Honestly, sometimes helping each other, working together, protecting with each other, communicating, sharing phone numbers with each other. So
Yeah.
there's more to be system on somebody else's property. I think that owner's not doing anything about it. Maybe they don't know. So
Right.
if you have their number, their email, you can call, be like, hey, did you know they're setting up camp tonight near the parking lot? Or
Yeah.
having a sideshow right next to your business.
Yeah.
Or whatever it is. So yeah, communication is a big part of it. Working together as a community, which is the nice thing about these college can't be at tighter knit community. Like the other two areas, literally you work out their next door.
Yeah. Yeah.
But we also
With the data tells us to go.
Right.
event, dark web share. You guys want any of these?
Yeah.
Bye, Natalie. High impact. The goal of high impact, so getting guns, drugs, basketball, streets. And then you got like 86 guns, total hundreds of pounds of marijuana, fentanyl, people, $500 gas. So I just want to scale. It's fairly small operation. And in general, locally, we have regional theft ops plan tomorrow with the Hill Road and Roseville Road. And we're always looking to do more of those. I don't know if food
I don't
source.
remember. I'll
from
have to
food
go back
source?
and look at our conversation.
Okay. If you guys know anyone,
One guy was just from that complex.
right? So if you know of theft that they have going on, and if it's obviously theft affects lots of businesses in the area, if they're interested in doing some sort of retail theft op, we can do that. Where we work with their loss prevention or their security, and we detain and investigate and transport people to jail based on theft that occurred at the store, right? So there's something to keep in mind, just in general.
Billy, do you have any announcements or flyers you want to talk about?
Yeah, I have a flyer to talk about. There's businesses here. Just want to let you know that the Small Business Administration is taking nominations for, business of the year and things like that. So if you have any interest, check it out. It's a great way to market your business and just, grow your business.
3 businesses involved in already.
Well, that's great.
We have 3 businesses that
Let's
are
find out.
nominated.
That's wonderful. Yep.
John Todd shared it yesterday online.
Perfect.
Yep.
Good job, John. Anybody else?
I think you guys touched them already. Do you have anything else that you want to talk about, or you cover kind of what you got?
This area up here, it's different than like some of the other areas that have denser population of businesses, where we typically have the homeless out there that are at the driveway entrances, where they do cause disruption. People trying to come to your business and do that. If you guys do have issues with that, give us a call, because there's a county section we can issue a citation for them to work me at the entrances to like this.
Any agencies? If anybody doesn't have a letter of agency and wants one, Sheriff brought a notary and the paperwork, and you can literally do it right there after the meeting, and it'll be good for the next year. So,
But you said it's a complex, because Steve did one.
Steve, if you're in this complex, you do not need it, correct? But if you are not in this shopping center, then stick around and Fabiola will help you with that. If you have one already? You already have one?
No, I want to give one to my landlord.
Yeah, tenants can do it. Yeah, you don't have to own the property to do it. Okay. All right, well, thank you guys for coming, and we'll keep trying to do whatever we can. I know Sheriff works really hard to spread out wherever they can, and it's helpful for them to have this information and take it back to their teams and patrol and their leaders, and let everybody know the community cares and what your issues are.
I appreciate you guys.
Yeah,
Thank you so much.
Thank you for all that you're doing. That's really having to do. Appreciate it.
All right, everybody, thank you so much. I'm gonna sign off. If you have any questions, feel free to email me. Thank you. I'll put my email in the chat.
Yeah. I figured it'll probably break again, then I'll have to get another new. Why, because we got the case, on the glass.
All right, thank you.
Open 5 slots. It was probably trying to add. One other, probably,